Alex Eala received a private message from Rafael Nadal. Message, and she nearly overlooked it. His generation's best tennis player personally reached out for the very first, and the tennis community is still discussing its meaning. However, that message, it was only the start. Due to the events that transpired between a retired legend and an up-and-coming celebrity over the 2025 will be among the most passionate, most motivating, and most stories about the sport that are subtly disturbing never observed. And the majority of individuals merely caught the outside of it. Remain with us because after seeing this video, you'll recognize the precise reason why this moment is greater than tennis. To comprehend why that intimate communication struck me in a very unique way, you must return all the way to the starting. You must comprehend who before the world recognized her, Alex Eala was name, and the extent of her relationship with It's True that Rafael Nadal runs. For the first time Eala met Nadal while traveling to his academy, intending to give it a week prior to any commitment. "Oh my God," she said, I was on my way to his academy to give it a try before we devoted. I was only going to give it a go. Out for a week." During that week, everything changed. The whole course of her existence. One of the most difficult decisions was taken by family. Any family can form. They dispatched their daughter, who is only a teenager, on the other side of world in Mallorca, Spain, to pursue a dream. Then there came the story about the airport. The one that Eala continues to share with the kind of laughter derived from a recollection you not wanting to forget. She saw Nadal at an airport, the same individual whose the academy's walls were covered in posters. She now worked out every day, and she chased after him. Run, not walk. Due to the fact that when you're a Filipino child who is unable to, I really think that the best tennis the earthly player is 20 feet distant from you. That naive moment of wide eyes of a young woman running through and to catch her idol at the airport. She tells you all the information you require on who Alex Eala was before to becoming the person she is. Rafa Nadal Academy was established in Eala herself refers to 2016 as her second home. The academy is similar to mine, a second home. She has said the discipline and hard effort, which helped to shape who yes I am. There, she did more than simply train. She grew up there. She acquired the ability to lose. There. She acquired the ability to get back up. There. In 2018, she won Les Petites OAS. This led to her being awarded a scholarship at the academy first. Then she won the Junior Grand Slam doubles titles in the Australian Championship in 2020 Open and the French Open in 2021. In the Junior League, prizes were accumulating ranks, but the professional game it was still a whole different mountain. For 6 years, Eala worked in silence at the academy, observing the realm of professional tennis from a sufficient distance to touch it, but keep enough distance to feel the void. She received her degree from the 2023's Rafa Nadal Academy. And this is the particulars that cause you to hesitate. The keynote address during her graduation Igor Swiatek was the ceremony's king, the victor of the French Open, the female currently, the unchallenged queen of tennis for women. After 2 years, those two females would stand on either side of at the Miami Open, a net. And the outcome would be the turning point. Everything. However, prior to Miami, prior to before the private communication, the entire globe gasped. Came, just a young woman was present. And years of silent, undetectable, unremitting effort. That is the basis. Furthermore, foundations are not newsworthy. Till the structure soars that everyone needs to raise their heads. What took place Miami's next stop was so breathtaking that even Eala's closest companions were unable to real-time processing of it. Hold on to observing as this is where the narrative blows up. Miami Open in March 2025, Stadium Hard Rock. An entry with a wild card 140th in the world enters the court for the initial time in the main draw and then disassemble one Grand Slam champion after champion. Just like that, the world's most natural thing. Let's take a time to process that figure. 140th. There is no number connected to that, includes those who went deep at WTA 1000 happenings. That number is connected to gamers who take pleasure in winning a round, and let's call it progress. However, Alex Eala didn't to be pleased with a round, come to Miami. Despite not knowing anything, she arrived. Yet, to completely redo the script. 3 Grand Slam winners were defeated by Eala in straight games. Her victory in the third round over Madison, The Australian Open champion Keys was adamant. Next, a reigning Jolina Ostapenko, winner of the French Open. The world then advanced to the quarterfinals. Kept its breath together while Alo walked out to take on the second-ranked EGAT, the same female who had given birth to the keynote address at her commencement ceremony just 2 years in the past. Its symmetry is it's almost too good to be true. However, it was authentic. All of its points. Aya remarked, "It's just unbelievable to consider that things are different now. I'm taking on her in court." She prevailed 62-75. Schweich, among the best athletes was sent in her generation. Consecutive sets. The tennis community did not just pay attention. The tennis community halted its activity and gazed looking at what was taking place on that Miami court. She turned into the first Filipino athlete to qualify for the WTA 1000 semifinal. She would rise in the rankings from 140 to 75 after a week, resulting in she is the top-ranked Filipina athlete. Then she pushed forth in WTA history. Jessica Pagula was seeded to 3 hard, brutal semi-final matches prior to falling in the end. And when the ideal run eventually came to an end, Aya did anything that made it clear to you she is the type of individual that her responses were caught by Nadal Academy. After victory, I continued to smile. After losing, in a new, more subdued way. After winning, the caption said simply. Shortly following the defeat against Alex Eala, the maturity seen in those 2 images, the grace, the will to keep going, that was the outcome of Mallorca's 6 years. It resulted from everything the she was born into an academy, and somewhere in a retired legend named Spain was observing everything of it develop, and he was going to something he has not before done during the years he had known her. The portion that no one covered in detail. Intimate message that even Aya was surprised by herself, as well as what she disclosed about it. It's wonderful. Stay put. The problem with historic weeks is this. The alerts continue to appear. Congratulations pour in from everywhere. Family, coaches, teammates, journalists, admirers, and strangers. Your phone turns into an uncontrollable sonic wave and feeling and light, and someplace if you're Alex Eala within that wave, is an alert sent by a name that makes Eala, Rafa messaged me, your heart stops. Stated when speaking with her uncle on Power and Play, Nali Aya was the he messaged me for the first time ever. Personally, I was surprised to see that. Funny enough, I only saw it a few times. Several days later, it was thrilling to witness his reread the notice. The first during the years she had been training at lived under the concept of his academy. He created and assimilated the culture he produced and took home junior championships that bore his name of the institution. He had never sent her a private message, and now he had since her actions in Miami brought her anything that despite being his for 6 years the pupil was unable to produce. His undivided attention. Not academy pride, but institutional pride his own. Nadal wrote openly on X, "We are quite pleased with you, Alex. What an amazing competition. Let's maintain dreaming." It was a heartfelt public statement. The public statement was praised everywhere. Each tennis platform in a matter of hours, yet the private communication that she saw when she eventually got a quiet moment, days later, that was something unusual at that moment. That took place between the coach and the pupil. It was the type of dialogue that doesn't have to be broadcast since its significance is felt, not made public, and this is what makes this is much more multi-layered, more nuanced than the surface suggests. Joanne Bosch, Aya's coach, had formerly recounted an incident at the Rafa Nadal Academy during the time when Nadal walked without being asked to the court. Because he witnessed Aya's struggles and felt forced to assist. Bosch recalled not just that he picked up the racket after that, and began striking a few serves to instruct what he was saying to her. Alex, when he completed, looked at me and informed me that it's unbelievable. That's the good fortune of attending the Rafa Nadal Academy. This guy has 22 Grand Slam victories. Titles, who might dedicate all of their waking accomplishing anything at the time of his retirement he desires. He decided to go down to a court, grab a racket, and individually teach a little girl from the Philippines how to strike a not because someone requested, but to better serve not because it was planned, but because when he observed a young player having difficulty and he sensed something, he understood. And that compassion, that personal and unexpected act of kindness is the foundation that all other things in this tale is constructed. Aya already said, he is, according to Philippine Broadcast Network GMA, really grounded, and he's accomplished more than I could ever imagine. Additionally, the fact that he remains so kind to everyone in this area is really admirable. Out of him. She wasn't referring to his awards. She was discussing who he is when there are no cameras aimed toward, and it's the specific thing that makes the whole narrative more profound than a straightforward story of a mentor and learner. But hold on, there's more to the tale than a message. Since 6 months have passed, there was an incident at the Rafa Nadal Tennis Academy that no one anticipated. Something that spread like wildfire over 14 million fans and departed the whole sport unable to speak. Alex Eala was November, smack in the middle of it on this day in 2025, precisely 1 year to the day given that Rafael Nadal's final professional Davis Cup match Malaga finals. A year after he left a courtroom as an active for the final time, a professional carrying a career that included 22 Grand Slam victories and cannot be duplicated. A year of retirement and a year of solitude in Manor with his family. A year of avoiding the competitive arena he had defined for 20 years before he grabbed a racket from the anniversary of his retirement at the Rafael Nadal School in Mallorca. Nadal returned to the tennis court. In order to practice with Alexandria, the WTA World number 50 at the moment, not a press conference rather than a charity show, not a practice, but a commercial shot actual tennis session, the type that occurs early in the morning when not everyone else is watching, with the exception of the world was watching this time. Since Nadal himself revealed it. Said on social media, after a year, it was wonderful to resume playing tennis. Court. I had a terrific time practicing with Alex Eala, you. The next time, I'll be stronger. He posted a reel via Instagram of the meeting accompanied with a picture of Miko, Eala's brother, and her parents, who attends Pennsylvania to play collegiate tennis United States State University. Eala replied to his reply right away. With 2 remarks. Firstly, I would like to thank you for Rafa, today, followed by a second remark. It encapsulated the moment's poetry returned as if you had never left. Event that produced what the corporate world characterized as already 1 million on the internet interactions and responses in all social networking sites, as it wasn't only a rehearsal between a former legend and a bright young player. It was Nadal. It was a declaration. Stating without explicitly stating that among the several ways he may have identified the anniversary of his retirement, of all the individuals with whom he may have shared that he picked her to court with. The girl who once followed him around an airport. Student who nearly missed his very first private message due to the fact that her phone was overloaded with alerts. A Filipina. After 6 years taking in everything that his academy has to offer for and then entered Miami with a ranking ranked 140th in the world and left with defeated 3 Grand Slam winners. It was caught by Rafa Nadal Academy using these lines, a very great day at the school. Alex and Rafa Nadal on the court a year following his final game at the Davis Cup. It's amazing to have him back on court sharing his expertise and enthusiasm. On the same court are 2 left-handers. One at the conclusion of the most successful career in history of tennis. One at the start of what may be similarly remarkable. With the elder one narrating the younger one with gifts, by perspiration, by taking up on the anniversary of his most recent competitive contest in which she is valuable returning for. And this is what the tennis world is demanding a lot right now. Is Nadal being silent, or is this only mentoring? Constructing something far bigger? Due to the entire scope of his work for Eala's career encompasses far more than social networking and practice sessions posts. To comprehend Rafael Nadal's "What are you doing for Alex Eala?" Recognize what Rafael Nadal consistently does. He never takes anything half-heartedly. He never did. Whether it was grinding via clay court 5-set matches with a ripped muscle or recovering quickly from an injury for a Davis Cup that was extremely important to Spain, or constructing an academy from scratch in Mallorca, his hometown, when he may have just retired and subsisted on his heritage. Nadal gives his all, utterly without hesitation. Additionally, the same is true of investments in Alex Eala. It was Tony, Nadal's uncle and coach. Nadal, who was in Eala's container while she was competing against Swiatek at the Miami Open. The inner circle, the family it created one of the best sports occupations, personally appeared for a young lady who hadn't even begun to play when Rafa was triumphing in his first French Open title. And it's no accident. That is a decision. When I got ready to compete on clay at the French Open, Nadal's area, where he was awarded 14 of his 22 Grand Slam victories with an incredible record of 112-4. Eala mentioned him with an awe that transcended respect. Rafa has played an important part. Model, not only for myself, but I believe for everyone. He's such a great example, and to be brought up simultaneously is quite pleasant to hear. Consider what walking onto Roland Garros clay is, what it signifies. As a Rafael Nadal pupil, to engage in same surface to which he was, so he rose to prominence in mythology, where the record is so remarkable that it almost the impractical, in which the clay itself appears to have influenced his footsteps. Eala then stepped upon that court, being aware that she had that relationship with her, not as coercion, but with consent. Permission to dream, more significant than the rating beside her name, recommended that she do. Nadal monitored Eala throughout the whole 2025 campaign. He conveyed words of congratulations following her performance in the Miami Open, following her arrival at Eastbourne, hosted her maiden WTA final in June, and following her maiden WTA victory 125 title in September in Guadalajara. Every significant event, every innovation, each and every first. He was listening. Each and every time. This is the architecture of the structures Nadal is constructing. A legacy, not simply a player. His school creates winners in the technical make sense. Sharper and better ground strokes footwork and a more focused mind strategy. However, what Self and Nadal says, what he personally contributes is anything that cannot be taught in a curriculum. He provides the actual evidence that excellence is conceivable, that suffering can be endured, that the distance between your current location and where, if you're crossable, you want to be ready to cross it each and every day for years before anyone takes notice. When Eala lost her feelings in her first WTA final was the Eastbourne final. She fought back tears as she acknowledged the runner-up award. "This is my first WTA final. It's significant to me and my country because of its historical significance. It's for the first time, a Filipina has such like this. I suppose that's also why am I feeling so emotional." And Nadal was the one who sent her encouragement before Wimbledon. Following the defeat, his message as a reminder of the true nature of that moment represented. The confidential discussion. Eala and Nadal don't have a single communication, one practice session, or a one social media conversation. It's a continuous, changing, intensely intimate conversation between two generations of tennis. One that has already undergone modification, all for one of them, and it might still determine the sport's future for both. We're nearly done, but the most important chapter is this one. Due to the fact that this tale is not only about tennis. It concerns what it means to genuinely make an investment in someone. Additionally, the world is only starting to comprehend the entire extent of such investment generated previously. Take a step back from the scores. Take a step back from the rankings and drawings for the event and the social media figures. Take a step back. Then examine how this tale is structured. A girl of 12 wins a junior competition in France and receives a scholarship to a Mallorca-based academy, Spain. Her relatives send her across the world since they have faith in her and as they think that the man who constructed that academy stands for. She spends 6 years there, 6 of which are formative, crucial, challenging, and lovely years, acquiring a competitive mindset. It is based on self-control, fortitude, and a reverence that borders on religion for the procedure. She pursues her hero via an airport. She observes him working out from a separation. She receives her degree. She grinds through the ranks of the profession. She lost at 6 Grand Slams during qualifying. She ascends gradually before suddenly she blows up. When she peaked in 2025, Alex Eala's WTA record is at an all-time high rating that places her at the top-rated tennis player from the Philippines in past. The first Filipino is her player to place among the world's top 50. She defeated the number 2 in the world. She made it to her first WTA championship. She succeeded in winning her first championship in WTA 125. Additionally, during all of the man who constructed the academy that constructed her, the individual who had never once 6 years later sent her a private message of instruction was observing, applauding, and finally returning to a tennis court on his anniversary of retirement, particularly to engage in alongside her. That isn't a management connection. It's not an academy generating a return on spending. That is a far more human thing than either of those items. Joan Bosch, her coach, said it best. First of all, it was fortunate for Alexandra, followed by us, since it lets you see how excellent that someone is behind you. Additionally, you cannot be with someone superior to him, correct? You cannot have a better partner compared to him. Not with regard to titles or statistical dominance or rankings, however, all of that is true. However, in terms of what Rafael Nadal genuinely contributes, he provides Eala with evidence. Living, breathe, provide evidence that it is perhaps someone from a location that the tennis community has mostly disregarded can ascend to the summit and complete it with dignity, elegance, and an unwavering reluctance to provide anything less than everything. In exchange, Eala provides Nadal is something that former sportsmen seldom come across. She continues to speak to him. She makes it possible for him to view a young woman defeating the greatest in the world gamers on the largest platforms and are aware of, in a tiny yet significant way, that a remnant of what he created endures in her. Not in her immediate vicinity, not in her service, inside her personality, within her perseverance, as seen in her smile after WTA final loss due to the fact that she recognizes that losing a first-round match is remained something that no Filipina had ever completed before. The confidential discussion between Alex Eala and Rafael Nadal is not disclosed. It's not a scandal. It is not a dispute. It is more uncommon, and worth more than all those items. It's a dialogue between mythology and the future carried out throughout years of court time spent together, private lessons learned from texts received days late provided on the spur of the moment in the morning, posts on social media that are really powerful, more characters than they have, and one exceptional rehearsal session on the anniversary of retirement. A retiring that felt like it was only for a moment a bit less definitive. The tennis match the world anticipated hearing about a private message. It received something far away. Larger. The tale of how the greatest his generation's tennis player is discreetly, intimately, and purposefully putting money into the sport's future via a young lady from the Philippines, who nearly missed his first ever sent a direct message due to her phone was overloaded with alerts from the rest of the world, is catching up to what he already know. Alex Eala is more than only a Rafa Nadal Academy product. She is, in many respects, the most accurate representation of what that school was always meant to do, make something. And the most remarkable, this story's chapter hasn't been not yet written. This is the question then. We'll part with you, and we truly would want to get your thoughts on the remarks below. After Alex Eala wins her first Grand Slam victory, and if 2025 is any clue, the answer to that question is no, it's when, not if. Will that time come? Only belong to her? Will it belong? In a significant and indisputable manner to the man who used to pick up a racket and went to a courtroom just because he's seen a young athlete having difficulty and felt a connection to her? Please drop your response below. And if you were affected by this narrative, if you experienced even a little portion of what these after building together, the two hit that click the subscribe button, since this channel is where the truth about tennis is expressed deserves to be shared. We'll see you in the following.